How we doing? Alright, let's figure out where we're going for NFP. Potentially. Alright. So we have this daily unfilled Sibi above. And then what I normally do whenever I try to figure out bias is I look for draw, and then I look for where we're delivering from. And so I'm just drawing out potential draws right now, and potential draws are like equal lows, equal highs, unfilled liquidity, etc. Right? So this daily Sibi being unfilled could be a potential draw. Obviously, the more obvious the gap is, the better of a draw it is. So this 4 hour looks pretty good. Kind of lines up nicely with the new week opening gap. So if you want to close even on the week, might see a bullish candle from NFP to that. And then you might also see like a drop to maybe this ITL down here. ITL instead of a fair value gap, but that's 600 points away, so we'd have to see quite a drop from NFP in order to see that. And then we obviously have this singular low down here, so if we continue the sell model that we're in, this kind of looks like it would complete down here, right? So a couple different targets for us today, and we'll just have to see what gets hit, and obviously the reaction after the NFP news candle forms in about 5 minutes here. I forgot to check Forex Factory just to see what else we have today, but it just looks like we have orange folder consumer sentiment at 10. So we'll watch for that as well after NFP, but yeah, should be a pretty chill morning. I don't do the eval gamble thing, but if you guys know how to do that from what Dodgy's taught you in the past, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to trade the market and probably target an OSFL trade and then maybe one more trade after that. All right. How was everybody's day off since, Jimmy Carter had his funeral and whatnot? Um, as soon as that first OSFL setup forms, Jai, that's usually when I'll enter. Usually it takes us about at least 5 to 10 minutes for that first setup to form, but um, we'll see. I've been trading ICT concepts since early 2024. So, um, oh wait, no, sooner than that, since 23 actually. No, this will be my second year. Wow. Okay. Sorry, I just realized I'm old. Um, yeah. So when I was in college, my buddy found ICT and found Dodgy. He was my roommate, and he showed it to me in January of 23, and that's kind of when I started. And then I joined this Discord, I think, in April. So, what's the lowest you go in terms of time frames? I'll go all the way down to the 15 second, but the majority of my trades happen between the 30 second and the 3 minute. So we just formed the equal highs above here. So we'll see if those get ran. I don't really care about these ones since they're side by side. But I think it kind of makes sense to run these at some point. These are a little bit more obvious. These are like B tier equal highs. You know, the A tier ones are the super obvious ones that appear on multiple time frames that are spread apart. These ones are B tier since they're not side by side, and then the side by side ones are like C tier. Where'd I go to college? I went to this small school in Midland, Michigan. It's called Northwood.
Yo,
Yo, how's it going?
yeah, I had to leave in like 5 minutes.
Nice.
What's going
We got 30 seconds, man. Hey, people
on?
want to know where the stops are for the
I don't
NFP thing.
know. I don't even know where to put them. You just guess. It's like you just do them at like where you think if price is here, we're just gonna keep blasting up.
There you go, guys. That's where you put them.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I don't know. It's not like a certain point every time. It just depends on what structure. 4 seconds. Dude, Nick's like,
Cool, we got a data lake.
hey, let's go. Who passed an account there?
This morning. I was like, long's been too much sense. It's gonna go lower. Boom. Let's freaking go.
All right, so maybe we get
Hey.
that cell model completion like I talked about.
Yeah. Did you guys pass an account there? That was enough volatility.
Looks like a few people did.
Hey.
All right, so we've swept these lows to the left, and we have a lot of momentum down. I'm guessing if we close below these previous lows here, we're going to see this low down here get hit. And then what would I need to see to confirm that? Yeah, there's not really any gaps to the left here. So now we're kind of just going to wait probably for this sell side down here to hit, right? Because whenever we have conflicting draws where we have a data wick and equal highs above, and then we have these lows down here, we want to wait for one of them to get swept before taking the opposite. Unless obviously we get like a really good setup after sweeping the data low wick, right? So we have currently conflicting draws with data high and data low. But like let's say we like barely sweep data low and then get like a really obvious setup back to the upside where we, you know, form like a 30-second civvy and then inverse that back up and then whatever. Like obviously that's going to be good enough to take, and we're not going to have to see that last low get hit. But I'd prefer it if we came down, hit that low, and then maybe at like 9:30 we get like a nice setup back up. Um, I don't understand what LRLR you keep mentioning. Are you talking about like this? Because this to me is a little steep. I don't think this would be considered like LRLR.
Dude, today or that how many points does that move?
Um, like 230.
Yeah, that. So if I took 3 counts and did my exact method for everyone in chat, how many would I have passed? The method I've taught. Yeah, I would have passed two because the two it didn't wake back up. So I would have done my short, my long would have been stopped out, but my short and then my sell stop would have hit. And you guys see how the buy stop would never have hit. So that was like the perfect NFU for that.
So you
I
guys
didn't
see?
even end up.
Oh, go ahead.
I I said I didn't even end up getting any accounts. I mean, I already 20 and I had the seminar anyways. So
So what I was gonna say is based on the reaction we've gotten to the 30-second here, we've kind of gotten like this IO Fed-esque entry where we've just wicked into the gap but had no bodies closing it. And then obviously the immediate reaction off this candle, that kind of tells you where price wants to go and how we'll most likely re-hit this low down here. And then
Yeah,
the
try to
reaction, go ahead.
explain the structure thing.
Okay. So, are you talking about like the market maker model that we have right now?
You know, like the when we get the big handle and doing waiting for the structure.
Yeah. So basically, like whenever we see like price like move down a lot, the best thing to do is like wait for structure to form, right? Because that like initial like inverse we get or like any moves that we see after that massive dump are like usually lower probability than after structure forms where we see like price chop for a bit, then we get that manipulation leg, and then we see that move back up. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and it's just because like, and this is a little more advanced, but you know how like before you take a play, like you'll have your higher time frame structure, but usually the play you take is higher probability in the lower time frame because we'll have like some really good lower time frame structure too. We have the higher time frame structure now, but any lower time frame play, you're basing it off of also almost no structure at all. So like there's no like good break even, like you just need more structure to form more internal liquidity, if that makes sense. You don't have that much internal liquidity right now. So this is where I just wait.
So we swept that data low, and one thing I like to see in order to confirm lower prices is to see like continuous like momentum and closes below previous lows. And does this look like we're getting good momentum or continuous closes below previous lows right now? Not really, right? So Chris, I guess you got that, but for me, I'd want to see like a very like fast momentum close below the data wick in order to confirm that we're gonna go for that low down there.
I agree. Wait, we didn't hit the data wick?
No, we hit the data low. We just didn't hit like this sell side all the way down here.
See
Right. It kind of looks like a 4-hour like market maker model,
I
right?
agree. I agree with that. Yeah. Best now. Explain what the best possible A setup would be.
Well, like this isn't too bad. I explained before, like a setup that we'd get after sweeping the data low wick might happen before hitting the sell side, but the best possible setup would be we hit the sell side down here and then get like a nice setup. But this is like still pretty A plus, right?
What's the opposite A plus setup we could get?
This right now, where we don't come down and hit the sell side.
Well, this is a good setup here, but I'm talking about the short.
Oh well, yeah. Right now, I'd just be looking for longs, but the short maybe like we come up, we sweep these equal highs up here, and then get a short setup back down, or we see like price run up into this gap. Maybe this gap lines up with 50%, and then we see a short down to that sell side level that I want, because that lines up nicely with 50%.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to me, this kind of still feels like a conflicting draw, right? So.
Yeah, best case scenario, we go down, hit that south side, and get a long.
Yeah. Probably Champagne J at some point, right? The market likes to go from place of inefficiency to point of inefficiency, and to me, price was inefficiently traded here. So once it hits that dole to sell side, we'll probably see a reversal back up to that at least, and then maybe the data wick after that. It's just the only problem is when you start to like pull really far away from the data wick, it's harder to say whether or not we'll go back to it, right? Because to hit this sell side down here, we'd have to be like 350 points away, and that's pretty far. Rob, not necessarily, because even though mechanically it looks A+, what you have to consider whenever taking a trade is the draw and liquidity, right? And so whenever you have conflicting draws, it's worse to take a setup, even though it looks A+, because you don't know which direction the market's going to want to target first.
Yeah.
So this could work, but it's more of a gamble than saying like, okay, let's hit the sell side first.
Yeah, don't. This is like this is an eval setup right here. It's not a lot. There's no way it ever takes from a live count. It goes against the draw. So yeah, I like how I set it out of lows. So that's why it's reliable saying it could work up to efficiency, but it's not as high probability if you're to sweep that draw lower. Yo, Matt, look at the 1 minute inverse right now.
I'd rather eat shit.
Okay. Okay. What are you doing?
The result of that hit.
Oh, all right.
First NFT, we have industrial loan, we have it now.
Yep. So that 1 minute inverse still is holding.
Yep. Again, like I said, this 1 minute inverse in my streams, I always call these as eval trades. These are always good eval trades. They'll work. They just won't work 80% of the time. Like I say, the IFG model has an 80% win rate, and it's just because this one is one that technically would be against the draw liquidity, because higher time frame definitely is more bearish here. But what'll happen is these will work back up the premium. But how many of you have been watching price and sometimes we dump, and you're like, oh my god, this looks perfect. We're gonna retrace the premium, and then we never retrace the premium. Does that ever happen to anyone? Yeah, exactly. So with that logic, basically makes me stay away from these trades because technically you don't know if we're gonna retrace the premium or not. Now you know the draw liquidity is gonna hit, but sometimes you don't know if you're gonna trace the premium, and you need to know what to take a good trade. So I don't know. I hate when all these guys on Twitter be like, "Oh, we're gonna retrace to the 50%," but then half the time we don't. You know, it's just like a reaction thing. Like if we do, great. If not, then whatever. So,
So if you guys took the 1 minute here, I'd probably be break even. Just
yeah,
because we took a new high.
I'm in the 1 minute on paper right now, and I just want break even. I mean, I'm not really too attached. I gotta leave right now. So, are you ready, Matt?
Yeah.
Look,
Put it in my bag.
look, I'm in this paper trade.
Is this funded? No, it's paper.
No, dude, I'm not trading that shit.
What's the point?
I just told my chat, like, you know how like you see a really good setup against the draw liquidity.
Mm-hmm.
This is look at do you wait do you where do you think the draw liquidity is right now?
Higher since we turned out the daily lows.
Really,
Where are we at right now?
bro?
There's no SMT on the daily.
You don't think it's gonna be here?
The previous day is SMT with.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Again, I have no.
I'm telling people the draw liquidity is lower, so I'm showing like this isn't a really great play if you think the draw's lower. I think it will, but wait, since there's no SMT at the lows. Oh yeah.
Yo, chat, this guy's talking about the liquidity being higher. That sounds like our liquidity, not gonna lie.
I think we should have a trade off.
Dude, me and Matt and Nick, we're gonna try to do a backtesting session for YouTube video.
I want real money on the line.
And we're gonna do like probably a month and see like who's more profitable. We'll probably all be profitable. It's just gonna be like who's more profitable. They'll probably. My guess is they'll take like 5 million 1R trades that all work, and then they'll be waiting like a whole week for their trade.
We can take 5 1R trades.
Yeah, easily.
Literally a quarter of that.
I'm gonna.
Still me.
Okay. I'm gonna go down 30-second time frame, so find some like 5R setup.
So I probably would have been breaking even there off that setup.
Yeah, I would have gotten south break even. Again, it's kind of also the structure thing. We literally have no structure right now. I just got to keep waiting. Um, this isn't like healthy yet. You need more structure. All right, you ready, Matt? All right. Well, I'll see you guys later.
All right, man.
Let my only advice today is let the trade jump out at you. If it doesn't jump out at you, don't trade it. And nothing is even close to jumping out at me. When does a trade jump out sometimes? Let's answer the question. When does a trade jump out? Exactly. David got it when you don't expect it. Wait, David, are you in Nick's stream too? Oh, never mind. Okay.
That's just
If any
good.
other,
That's good investing advice in general, to be honest. That's the
yeah,
case
I
when it
know.
always is for like everything, stocks, like everything.
Yeah, it always has when you least expect it, and then you always lose when you force stuff. What? What?
You're not bleeding my nose.
No.
Yeah.
Nah, David, I was talking about something else. All right, I'll see you guys later. I might pop in here later, but I gotta do a presentation and stuff. This
All right.
thing's from 9 o'clock to 5:30, bro.
Wow.
It's gonna be such a long day.
9 to 5, bro.
Yeah, I'm doing a 9 to 5 today. I'm all dressed up. Think I'm going to work.
Nice.
What's going on?
Matt's over here like bleeding. I don't even know what's going on.
What? All right.
Hey, my nose is bleeding. I don't know what's going on. All right, peace.
All right. See ya. All right. Time for me to alert 9 losing setups and self promo PM stream for 2 hours. Let's get it. Where do I have sell side marked? At the moment, I have it at 20,983.75. That 4 hour / daily low down here. Kind of looks like the market maker model complete. Dodgy brought up a good point. We could see price retrace to this 1 minute void. Before heading lower. What's awful convenient about it is it lines up perfectly with 50%. So the people in his apartment were making a good point about us sweeping these, daily lows. We swept 1, 2, 3 lows here, and technically this 1 minute still held, even though it would have been a break-even trade for me. So I have zero FOMO about this, and I don't think I would have scaled because I only like to scale at unfilled liquidity, and this only went to 1-to-1 risk to reward and then reversed, and we never hit anything that was considered unfilled, right? So not even this 15-second high up here. So I don't really care. Like you said, the best thing to do here is wait for more structure to form, and then hopefully we hit this sell side down here. But yeah, usually NFP is the best day of the month. So I'm guessing we'll get a couple nice trades today. We just got to be patient and not force them within the 15 minutes of the reaction to news, and there's probably a chance that we'll get something around open, and then maybe something after 10, and then maybe even something before 11. We have an SMT. Are you talking about at the highs, I'm guessing? Yeah, at the highs there. Okay. So we have an SMT at these 1 minute highs here. Let me just put in a 1 minute order block to the downside now. So I'm guessing if we're going to head lower, we'll probably see price react to this and then target, first this ITL here, and then maybe after that the low. There we go. Yeah, Space Luke. Yeah, I noticed that. I've been watching the 5 and the 3 too. I just have it on a different chart. I mean, it's all like reacting off that for value gap. That's to be to the left there. So really good momentum down. I'm guessing if we put in this as an order block, this would turn into a prop block, and that would really start to accelerate price. And then it would also be coming into the 850 time frame too, so that 9 o'clock macro might start to accelerate price towards its ultimate target. Yeah, 10. The what I would consider over trading is if you take like more than 8 trades a week between the two sessions. Normally, I will get 4 to 8 trades in both the sessions. Um, Usually we get 2 to 4 in PM, and I'd like to think we usually get 3 to 5. Good A plus setups during AM. So like last time we streamed on Wednesday, we had 2 A plus setups, so that was nice. And last week we had a day where we caught over 100 points, and yeah, PM stream definitely can get you paid. We've had a lot of people come in there and get payouts, so yeah, 10. A lot of people that like don't necessarily have the schedule to trade AM will join PM just because it's still a good session and it's pretty profitable. So we've put in that prop block there. Now I'd expect price to expand lower. So SMT delivery out of a gap to the left, prop block. Macro. A lot of confluences, just no IFEGs, obviously. I mean, I guess this 30-second, right? But it went invalid because it hit the low first. There is Nella, but it's pretty important that the IFEGs we take are obvious because the not very obvious ones, like the ones that are only a few points big, tend to fail. And as you can see, this one here failed. Unless you're counting this as like the inception gap, right? But to me, I just would never take this because the gap is too small. I want to wait for something that's more obvious. So if you guys listen to me and I said, once we formed this prop block, we'd probably see price run to this low that I had marked here. That just happened there. So now we just need to continue to see closes below previous lows. So we'd want to see it close below this low and then ultimately, price to close down here. So that we can go hit that last sell side target. Yeah, I see what you mean. Slayer, it would just have to be super V-shapey and like super obvious. Like this was honestly good enough to take, but I was just listening to Dodgy. Like I think I would have taken this probably on my own. Is your A plus the same as Dodgy's, or do I use different parameters? It's almost the same, except Dodgy will take more setups in the middle of the range, and I will only take trades based off the extremity. the thing that really didn't make this an A plus setup, but something that I thought it would still work, was just the fact that this is like pretty V-shapey after taking out the data wick, and not a whole lot of displacement below. So like this is a good setup to take on eval or light unfunded. But the issue with this trade is like the delivery is questionable, and we have sell side below. So like overall, like the bias doesn't really go with this trade, but it's more so just a mechanical trade based off momentum. Does that make sense? And in order for a trade to be A plus, it has to follow bias, which this just didn't. Yeah, Lewis, especially for funded. Maybe not so much on eval. All I need for eval is like a really good draw, but for funded, yeah, I need the momentum as well. But yeah, no. Once we put in this high here, that's where I'd for sure go to break even, right? Because we shouldn't see price come back to our original entry after putting in, new highs. Dodgy is busy with a like trader meetup thing that he had scheduled with a few other traders. And so I'm filling in for him today. I'm just the dude that runs PM stream. Yeah, Mo. So the best thing is to just size down from here on out, right? So I'm guessing you have either 1,000 or 1,250 in drawdown left over. And for an account of that size now, I would just recommend, trading at most like $100 per trade. So it's usually going to be 2 to 3 micros, and just trying to work back up to an account size of like 1,500 or back to, that 2K, that full size. And then from there, sizing back up. And then just making sure that you're, not forcing trades, because right now there's no trade that you should have forced here that either didn't lead to a break even or just wasn't a trade that was like good enough. So yeah, just make sure that you're taking those A plus setups. Is the PM stream on premium? No, it's a separate included like add-on. So if you're interested in joining PM stream, I'll throw the little link in here. But yeah, it's just it's a separate like thing entirely, right? It's $50 a month, and you get access to 9 streams every 2 weeks. And then if you're interested in looking at what that looks like, in the PM videos section, all of my full stream recaps are there, where I'm very transparent about the trades I call out and how I trade and the education that I provide in there. Would I say the M1 has, not necessarily because we've inversed it, but honestly, like in order for an inception gap to even matter, I feel like the IFEG itself has to have some obviousness to it. So like in this scenario, like this just looks like structure that's just ranging, right? Which tells me that we need like some sort of injection of volatility, maybe like 930 open or something, in order to clean up price a little bit. Space Luke, it's kind of up to you and your own like personal finance journey, right? So if you have a lot of extra capital and you're willing to like spend the extra money in order to get funded faster, then I think trying to go for like 1 day passes and that kind of thing's okay. But if you're concerned with your money and you're trying to save money and not risk as much, I would recommend trading it seriously like a funded. Plus, it'll create better habits overall, and you'll probably get more value out of it than if you just like went for like a CPI pass or something like that. But yeah, it's totally up to you and your financial position. Yeah, Jai, it's just the swing that inverses the gap, and then any gaps that are created on that swing. Am I a full-time
Yo.
trader? Yes, John.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on?
Dude, I go and map out the place. I think it's like 20 minutes away, and it's freaking 40 minutes away, dude.
Rush hour, 9 a.m. traffic. That makes sense.
No, it's legitimately like 40 minutes away.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yo, are any of my mentorship students in here?
Yeah, I think Jai is.
Okay, if any of my mentorship students are in here, you can text my number if you guys need anything quicker, because I'm not checking Discord today. So just text my number.
I had to ban somebody this stream.
Why?
We had a self promo.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you know, is anything happening right now or no?
Nah, we're just chopping.
Okay. Yeah, so little tip. If you don't get anything clean like 20-ish minutes after an FP, so like from 8:30 to 9 o'clock or like 8:30 to 8:50 before the macro starts, usually you want to wait for 9:30 after that.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about, actually.
Yeah, like it's kind of a weird thing, but like if you do get it's like the opposite. If you do get something in that time, well then 9:30 is probably gonna be a little worse.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't, then 9:30 will probably something will happen, you know. But yeah.
But yeah.
Yo, quick announcement. If anyone in free stream wants to like run pro clubs when I'm less busy, I just downloaded FIFA. We need like a team of 11 guys going if anyone wants. So just shoot me a DM. I'm not. I used to play, but I don't play anymore, so I'm not gonna be amazing, but it won't be bad. But yeah, just shoot me a DM on Discord. Make sure your DMs are on for public, so it goes through. I'll just add you to a friend. I'm adding everyone into like a group. Vegan, usually not, but it's just today we are because I'm not even streaming. So, but yeah, shoot me a DM. If I don't get to it right away, it's because I'm busy all day. So I'll get to it later. I'll usually get to my DM. Why did 854 fail? I have no idea. I'm not watching. Reliable can answer that.
854. Oh, you're talking about the long here? Yeah, because okay, look at this gap contextually in the rest of the range. Does this look obvious? Does this stand out to your naked eye? Does this look like we're in good price conditions? So that's the main reason why, there's a lot of things to consider outside of, just like, okay, is there an IFG present?
If you can't see it from 10 feet away from your chart, it's probably not obvious. Probably don't touch it.
This 1 minute inverse down was a scale plus break even trade if you took it on eval, but me personally, I'm just sitting out of this while we're chopping and listening to what Dodgy said and waiting for 9:30. It's kind of what we mentioned earlier and how I said, when price gets choppy like this, we need like an opportunity for like an injection of volatility, and that usually won't happen until 9:30 if 850 isn't really doing anything with the macro.
Yeah.
What if you stretch your graph though? Is this still obvious contextually with the rest of the range, even if I stretch the graph? Not really. Even when I stretch
it's
it out.
relative to the candles around it.
Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna bump some music. I'll see you in a sec.
All right, man. See ya. Alejandro, my bias right now is I'd like to see like this market maker model completed to the sell side down here, and then maybe a long after that happens. Yeah, Drake. Now they also are next to the data wick, so we have like two good pools of liquidity up there that we can target later on. So I'm actually okay with the equal highs being left because now we can target even more points than if we would have like swept them. After NFP came out. Yeah, I'm a student of Dodgy Inception. I've been trading ICT concepts for almost 2 years now, and I've been trading everything for about, how old am I? I'll be 23 this year, so I've almost been trading for 5 years now. Almost 5, Domino. Am I profitable? Nah, dude, nah. I just do this full time because I like to lose money. Um, for the new strat, I think it's 3. You want to buy 3? How did it take me to become profitable? I got super lucky, to be honest. I became profitable after trading with Dodgy for after 4 months or 5 months. How you doing, Noah? Yeah, you abandoned PM stream, bro. I saw you. Yeah, Stalker Gains. Am I a student of Lewis? Yeah, actually, I ran into him before I ran into Dodgy. No, you're good. You're good, Noah. Can I explain SMT? Yeah, so it's when one indice takes a low, and the other indice doesn't, and that shows that one indice is weaker and one indice is stronger. And so usually, price will have a reaction after sweeping liquidity. And so when you pair that strong indice that already has a willingness to go up with the tendency for price to reverse after sweeping a low, you get like a doubled effect of like, okay, now price is going to be really bullish or really bearish in the opposite direction. Fanta, so I came out of school and I was in a really privileged position because I was able to go home and live with my parents, and they gave me like as much time as I wanted to try and figure out whatever I wanted to do with my life. And so I spent that time learning how to trade. And then after my 4th month, I got my first 5-figure payout. And ever since then, it's just been pretty great. My win rate is usually like between 70 and 80%. It just depends on the month. I trade Dodgies. I like the IFG strat. Space look, it just gives you a better chance to pass an account. Like, if you do the strat the way that Dodgy intends it, it's like a guaranteed at least one account to pass. Good, Jack. How are you? Yeah, I was in college. I went to school for cybersecurity, just like Dodgy, for 3 years. I got a dual major, so I majored in MIS and cybersecurity, and I graduated in 3 years. I was taking like 18 to 21 credits a semester, and then I passed some stuff on my own. Remy, we're looking for like a sweep of sell side down here, and then like a long off that, back to target data highs and the equal highs up here. But we're just mainly waiting for 9:30 at this point in order to clean price up because this is pretty choppy price action, and I don't necessarily want to be a part of it. I'm pushing 23 range, so I'm 22 right now. Space like pretty much. There's like I don't know. I've never used Dodgy's eval passing strat because I've never really needed to. I kind of just passed them on my own. Yeah, Slayer. I was sustaining myself comfortably before I even started doing PM stream. No, Jordan, I was not necessarily, but I was trading something completely different. I wasn't even trading ICT back when I wasn't profitable. I was trading like RSI and like something else, and I was trading options, and like I basically knew nothing about liquidity. So Looks like we're about to tap into this 1 minute for value gap here. So this could be a soup at this 30-second high. You thought I was military? No, I wasn't military. That might be the last PM stream person. That might have been Leopard that you're remembering. I don't have my own Discord. How long was I trading before Dodgy? I was trading 3 years before I joined Dodgy's Discord. I was just trading options. Before I actually joined Dodgy, I had my biggest trade ever, which is still currently my biggest trade. Up here it was 1 day to pass. By the way, I'm trying to answer everybody's questions, but obviously there's a lot more people in here. In PM stream, there's only about 70 of us, maybe 80 of us in most streams, so I'm able to get to everybody's questions in there. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, more of the personalized approach to trading and, being able to get your questions answered, that's what I'm able to provide in PM. The 15-second down here. So yeah, at this point, I'd want to see, the high swept before getting any shorts, right? I mean, the draw on liquidity would be too conflicted. What do you trade on the PM session? What time do I trade PM? So we trade PM every day, 1:30 to 4, and we take every other Friday off. And I trade Dodgy's IFEG model that I've refined a little bit to match what I prefer to see in the model. So I will stick to the extremities of the range and then the confirmation setups off of the IFEGs that we get at the extremities of the range. And I won't be trading any IFEGs in the middle of the range unless there's a really good draw on liquidity above or below. So Dodgy likes to kind of just trade anything that has like good momentum and is like mechanically good and has like a decent draw, but I need a really good draw if we're going to trade in the middle of the range, because any IFG setup in the middle of the range is automatically worse than anything at the extremities of the range, in my opinion. How much do I personally risk? For a 50K, I'll risk 200. For a 25K, I'll risk 150. And that's for funded. For eval, it goes up slightly, like $100 more per trade. My average gain per month is about, probably, I'd like to say 200 to 300 points. It just kind of depends on how good of a week we had. Percentage gain wise, I don't really know how that helps you, but as far as like payouts go, I usually get 1 to 2 payouts a month. It just kind of depends. And a usual payout for me is like 5K. I don't trade live. No, Led. I prefer to trade prop firms. It's just better risk management to trade prop firms. Once prop firms go out of business, I'll switch to live, obviously. But yeah, they're too good to not use right now. How many accounts? I trade usually 3 to 5 at a time. It just depends on the prop firm. So like with Top Step, they allow up to 5. With MFFU, they only allow 3. And then Apex, I don't like to trade all 20. I feel like that's poor risk management. So I'll trade 5 groups in 5. Yeah, pretty much sincerely, or yeah, sincerely, unless there's a good draw. Expert, no, because of the way that I like to take payouts. I will usually take the max payout from whatever prop firm I'm trading. And so what usually happens is, I'll get up to the minimum payout threshold, take the max payout, and then I'll only be left with a few $100s in drawdown. And then I might, be able to get another payout, but just the way that probabilities work after that, I'll probably either blow the account or whatever. But MFFU looks like they're going to, just because I'm on my 5th payout right now with them. So if I get this payout, they're going to push me to live no matter what. But honestly, I think getting pushed to live is worse because you get less leverage than if you have multiple accounts. But yeah, no, this PA isn't great. So that's why like I said, we're just waiting for 9:30 at this point. Yeah, so what I like to do, Space, is I just like to run up accounts to the minimum take profit threshold. So for Apex, that's like for a max payout, that'd be 4,100 for a 50K or 2,600 for a 25K. And for MFFU, that's about 1,300 on funded, and then I'll just take the max payout for that. 50% is at, yeah, no, I know. 50% lines up perfectly with that gap there. You can check the trade recaps for that answer season. We win so much, and all of the trade recaps are posted. I honestly couldn't tell you a percentage number, but going back to like the beginning of PM Stream, which was like September, we've taken like 5 losing trades or 4 losing trades total. So I used the Trade of 8 trade copier. Yeah, no stream this afternoon. This week's our off week. So we're tapping into this 15-minute civvy to the left here, and we're about to run up on 50% here of the 1 minute range. And then once we hit that, we want to see the reaction that we get to price hitting 50%. And then once we hit that, depending on the reaction we get, it's going to tell us whether or not price wants to head lower or higher. We might have actually hit it already, if I have price drawn out correctly. Yeah, so it looks like we actually hit it. Oh wait, never mind. We missed it by a tick. Okay, so once we sweep this high again, I bet you we'll hit 50, and then after that, we'll just have to watch the reaction. Trading, it was validating. Like I'd put in a lot of the time, and I'd gotten rewarded for it. Exactly, Space Loot. How did I stop letting myself tilt? Taking less trades. So, one analogy that I always use. All right, so there's 50%. One analogy that I always use in PM Stream is this idea of like a gas tank. So treating your mental capital kind of like how you treat a gas tank in a car. And each trade you take expends, some gas. And your goal as a trader is to get from point A to point B as efficiently as possible. And the way that you do that in a car is by hopping on the highway and not taking back roads or getting stuck in traffic or following construction. So any of those trades that you take that would be considered bad trades that aren't A plus, that don't follow the model, etc., would be considered trades that take you on the back road or put you in a bunch of potholes or take you through construction or traffic or whatever, right? And the A plus trades are going to get you from point A to point B the quickest and are going to expend less mental capital. So just jumping on the highway, right? And so if you live by that philosophy and you live by that analogy of, okay, is this trade getting me from point A to point B in an efficient manner? And do I have enough gas left in the tank to keep trading, right? And so there's a lot of factors that determine how much gas you have in your tank. Lifestyle habits, how you sleep, how you eat, do you exercise? Do you have something going on at your house, income related, or, whether you're fighting with your girlfriend or whatever. And so obviously there's ways that you can maximize your mental capital by improving those things, right? That's increasing the size of your gas tank. And then obviously, you have to require yourself to rest and replenish your fuel. Hit the EV charger, hit the gas station or whatever, right? Going into each day. And this is where the analogy really comes to a complete. Whenever you overtrade, or you revenge trade, or you take riskier trades, you expend more mental capital or more gas than necessary per trade. And what that's going to cause you to do is run out of gas before you get to your target. And whenever you run out of gas in your car, you don't give your fuel pump enough gas to cool itself. So what ends up happening is you end up damaging your fuel pump, and you're doing the exact same thing when you're trading, right? Whenever you trade without enough gas, without enough mental capital, you're going to damage something. You're going to blow an account. You're going to take a losing trade. You're going to hit DLL. You're going to do whatever, right? And so your best tool as a trader is to follow and get a really good understanding of where your mental capital is, and stop trading once you've used your mental capital. No trading. So if you have leftover drawdown in the account, you don't lose the account. You so like let's say like I take like 5 trades on MFFU and they're 300 a piece, okay? And I take a max payout on MFFU, which is $1,200, okay? They require you to keep $100 in the account, okay? So I lose that. I burn $1,300 basically, and I'm left with $200 of buffer, okay? And I'm allowed to run that back up. So right now, Fans, I have 15 accounts with Apex, and I have 3 with MFFU. At what price would I start looking for shorts, Rob? Honestly, when we have conflicting draws like this to the sell side and buy side, I'm just gonna wait for a setup to form after we sweep one, unless we get something super textbook, which so far we haven't. Something super textbook could be like if price were to run down here and sweep, you know, this ITL and we get an SMT with ES, or vice versa. You know, we sweep the low down here and we get an SMT with ES, and then see a nice V-shaped recovery after that. If you were to come down here and sweep the sell side, you know, completing the market maker model and seeing a reaction, I'd look for longs. Or if we were to get something like where we inverse this void and then come back down into a gap that we create in the process of inversing this void, create like a 30-second SIBI, deliver out of that, and then target that. Because whenever we have a trade that we have to take in the middle of the range, we have to get something textbook, and there has to be a good draw, which in this case, of course, there is. You know, we have data wick plus equal highs. Yeah, so in case you guys didn't know about Apex, they're like super liquid. More liquid than you could ever fathom. They don't have liquidity issues like other prop firms do. They make 8, 9, $15 million in profit a month, on top of their revenues, on top of paying people out. So I recommend Apex just on the basis that they pay out. I wouldn't be worried about that. If you're concerned about their max payout rules because you think the value is kind of bad, or you're concerned about trailing drawdown, I would definitely recommend MFFU over a firm like Top Step, because MFFU doesn't have a funding fee, and MFFU has a really good payout rules, and it only costs like $100 or something right now. They've raised, or no, it's 97 or 102, something like that. They've recently raised their prices, but it's good value for the account you get. You get $2,500 in drawdown, same as Apex, but you get end of day drawdown instead of trailing. And they have DLL, same as Top Step. And then they have, once you pass the account, if you make 5 days of $100 profit, you can request a payout. I've gotten lots of payouts with MFFU. They also pay out super quick. Usually when I request a payout, I get it within the day, if not within the hour. And if you're interested in trying them out, you can get 5% off by using my code RELIABLE. Just a little shameless plug there, but yeah, Apex is reliable. They're A plus. They're AAA. So don't listen to anybody, you know, what they tell you on Twitter or whatever. They're not going out of business anytime soon. They don't have liquidity issues. So if you're planning on using them, or if $102 is too steep for an eval for you, go with Apex. If you like Top Step's rules and you want an account that's technically cheaper and has better value, go with MFFU. What's max payout on Apex 100K? I think it's 3,000, right? So payouts on Apex work like this, okay? You have to hit, I think it's 8 days of trades, and get over the required minimum payout threshold, which for a 25K it's 1,500, or no, 1,600. For 50K it's 2,600, and then so on and so forth. And it just depends on the respective account size you have. So wait, is 100K, is that 3K or 2,500? Sorry, I don't know all of the rules for all the accounts. I just focus on 50K and 25K because I think they're the best value. The starter plus accounts D are more expensive. I think this, and they have less drawdown, so I think starter's better. Yeah, exactly. Trading. Yeah, you don't have to start over if you take a smaller payout. How much in 25K to withdraw again? Yeah, so you need $2,600 in profit to take the max payout. You need $1,600 to take the minimum payout, which would be $500. Yo.
Bro, there's like no fair value gaps
My
forming.
headphones turned off.
Yo,
Nothing to say about the market right now, man. We've just been
there's like
talking.
no fair value gaps forming.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wait until we get like more fair value gaps forming. Then yeah, nothing to go on. I guess you could check like sometimes if you get no fair value gaps in IQ, you could check gold or oil, but I don't know. If there's any clean setups on those right now. But,
What's the gold ticker? It's like
GC.
yeah, I mean GC is futures, but I don't really like
XAG USD.
Yeah, look at XAU.
So
XAU. Right.
Yeah, I see that. Damn.
God,
Look at that 5-minute inverse at the bottom.
dude, what? Look at that M1 too.
Ooh, okay.
What the fuck?
No, you're fine.
Yo.
That was a big ass pot though.
We missed a textbook setup, guys.
That was a big ass.
Was there an SMT with silver there?
Yep.
Damn. Yeah, see,
I don't know
it's
how
a little
it
gold's a lot cleaner right now.
Bro, look at it. It was an hourly gap, right here.
Oh my god. Yeah, live. Look at the hourly.
Hourly gap SMT.
Look what
was-
you're delivering off.
Oh my. Okay, bro. All right, man.
That's crazy. Go clean.
Put MQ. Dude,
What am I
you were on the
doing,
wrong
bro?
chart.
This weekend.
Yo, reliable. I'm pretty sure you're just on the wrong chart.
Nah, we're good. I was on gold and now I'm on
No, no,
MT.
no. XAUSSD.
Yeah, that's what I was on. I was on.
No, you
This one,
weren't.
right?
You were on XAU, bro. That's not it. That's not gold. That's gold right there. You're
We're good. We're good.
Look at
we're
the
good.
hourly. Look where we delivered off of. Wait, why isn't it different? Oh, you're in gold futures.
Futures.
Yeah, GC, go in GC1 exclamation point.
Oh my god, it's nutting. Oh my god.
Look at the hourly. Look exactly where you delivered from.
Dude, it's a god candle.
Yeah, see that gap?
Wait,
And
this
then
is like a
was
lot
there
of
a
movement for
5-minute
gold.
inverse?
Oh,
I know.
Wow.
Was there a 5-minute inverse?
No,
Did it
it,
trigger-
it
it didn't
wasn't
trigger.
valid.
It was close, though.
The 3-minute did. The 2-minute. Ooh. That's
You just
human
had the
insider.
target higher.
Yeah, target this high appeared. That was probably 1-to-1 at least.
Yeah. I'm like 10 minutes away from the seminar. I have no idea what to expect.
Oh no, that's not even 1-to-1. Damn.
Alright, well, have fun.
All right, see it.
I might pop in just randomly. I don't know.
Yeah, man. If you're bored, oh, never mind. He's gone. I was gonna say, you guys know, like, you know, when you're at the party and you just pull up the calculator app and it's super interesting. If that ever happens to him, you can just pull up the stream. Yeah, Wookie, of course. Even if you take the max payout on Apex, you're forced to get a buffer. That's what making the 4100 represents, right? You're left with a buffer of about, I think it's 2K. So on Apex they require you to get a buffer before taking the max payout. Zimmer, because I don't know. That's a good question. Rolling accounts is just what's worked for me. 54,100. Pickle. They're like within the day or within the hour, Slayer. It just kind of depends on when you catch the support team. What size do I trade on Apex? Right now I'm trading 25Ks just because they're better value than the 50Ks, and you have to make less money in order to get to the payout. It just means like rolling them over. So you take a payout and then you blow them, and then you take another payout and then you blow them, that kind of thing. You don't like try and run them up. The real issue, guys, with the reason why I don't run up accounts is because I've seen a lot of instances online of where people will run up accounts to really high balances, and then they'll be denied payouts. And I don't want to keep my money tied up into a prop firm where they'll just deny my payout for some random reason. I'd rather just get my money and get out. If that makes sense. So yeah, here comes market open in 4 seconds. We're starting it off with an SMT, so all right, never mind. Swap the high. All right, so any short here would be delivering out of this 1 minute void here. What's this equal high indicator called? It's the equal highs and equal lows, or equal highs and lows by out of options. So we have this 1 minute setup here where we barely displaced over the previous high, delivering out of the 1 minute for value gap. But if you know me, this would be a setup in the middle of the range, and what I would need in order to take a setup in the middle of a range is a really good draw on liquidity lower. And we just don't have that. We don't have equal lows. We don't have a data wick. All we have is some random, external low to the sell side. So I wouldn't take this personally, but mechanically it's a decent setup. We do have an SMT at this low now. So for me, I'm just going to watch it play out and then hopefully, like I said, take a trade once we hit sell side. Because while we have conflicting draws and not a good draw to the lows, I think it'd be better to just wait. So if you took that short mechanically, your break-even stop would have been this low, so you should be stopped to break even at this point. I don't really care about equal highs or lows on ES. I just care about equal lows and equal highs on NQ. So TP1 could be like right here in this 1 minute for value gap because we don't know if this is going to break until after. But based on this momentum, I'm guessing we're going to continue to head lower.
Yeah, we took that 30 second.
We were watching the 1 minute, but yeah,
Dude,
30 seconds, same thing.
Dude, I literally just called that a live time the man. I'm like, bro, I'd enter this right now.
He did.
Type 1 if you guys took that. That was did you guys see that internal sweep inside the fair value gap? That was a banger. See, look how many people took it. That's exactly what I teach. Would you guys agree that was like a good death candle too, and like a good close?
I said mechanically it was really good. My issue is like the draw isn't the best, so we just have
I think the
different
draw's
rules.
lower. That's why I like that. So, and then we had an intermediate term low on the 30 second. Did you guys see that? That low inside that fair value gap?
30-second low inside the fair value. Oh, this one? Oh, we looked at it and saw that it was 1 minute unfilled liquidity, so I said to take profit there if you took it.
Yeah, I figured we'd go to that 30 second.
Yep.
Just go to our
So it looks like a scale
I'm so
plus
mad.
break even.
Bro, I would have taken that. I'm just driving. I'm not
Yeah.
logged in or anything. All right, I'll see you later.
All right, man, see you. Well, there is instant number one. You guys can see how me and Dodgy trade differently. I'm not going to take that trade, obviously, because I need an A+ draw whenever we have conflicting draws, regardless of how good it looks mechanically. So that's going to be the difference between Dodgy and I. To me, this was obvious, though. The bias, I think, is short, Vlad, but we'll see. No, this was obvious. I don't think it's not obvious. Like I said, the biggest thing for me here is that I need a better draw to the sell side. I need equal highs or a data wick. And if we don't have that and we have conflicting draws, I can't take it. But But this would have been a scale plus break even, so I would have gotten out half there for about 30 points, and then the rest would have been just break even. Yeah, Jordan, this is the only time that we differ. It's on these trades specifically. Um, yeah, unless the draw is super good, DJ. Like I need like equal highs or equal lows or a data wick. I can't just target some random ITL inside of a 30-second gap and call that a good draw. I think the bias is technically still bearish just because of the reaction we've gotten after hitting 50%. And because I think that we're going to try and target the low down here to complete the market maker model. But I need a good draw on top of that, you know. The only reason why I think the draw is bearish right now is because of, you know, the delivery plus this draw, but I don't think this is a good draw. I think a perfect draw would be like equal highs plus a data wick, which this is a really good draw. Right? If we had that to the downside, I'd be taking this all day, don't get me wrong. So we have this 15-second inverse here. Oh, maybe not. We didn't get it. Or above Noah, yeah. Never mind. So 15 seconds invalid there, so no trade because we hit the low first. Correct. I don't take inversions if it takes the internal low or the internal high first. That's just part of the IFG model. Hey, that's okay, Shatev. We'll probably still get another setup this stream. Tony, there's like a very specific rule set that I follow in order to trade. Yeah, I think I did. If you guys check the calendar chat and you just type like in the top right from colon and then my name, it should pop up. I can post it here. I just have to go find it. I live trade AM and PM. So once again, this is like the same thing. Obviously, this is a much better setup to take because it's the V shape after sweeping liquidity, whereas this is like just some FVG that's deep in discount of both contextually the 15-minute range and even the 1 minute rate. So for me, this is not something I take just because I don't short and discount. My hard stop is just whatever the extremity of the range is, sincerely, but it's also a candle close, like manually, it's a candle close back over the IFG. Or if we have like an inception gap, which, like for example, we might get here, it would be a candle close back over the inception gap. So normally the stop would be a candle close over this IFG, but like let's say we close this 1 minute with a gap, it would have to include this fair value gap as well. So a lot of momentum down at this point. I don't see a reality where we don't hit this low. Do I live stream all day? Not today. I just normally stream one session, which in this case is AM. Wookie, like usually never. Like probably 5% of my trades. Like I'd say like 80% of my 70 to 80% of my trades are break even. 20 to 25 to like 15 to 25 are like wins and then 5% are losses. would give me like a 75% win rate overall. By the way, we do have consumer sentiment orange folder, which used to be red folder at 10. So we got to be careful of that. But obviously, if we get a textbook setup, with the 10 a.m. reversal, I'm not going to really care about it too much. Yeah, that's what I prefer to do, Silas. I like to target trades 1-to-1 risk reward away. But I don't. I target liquidity at 1-to-1 away. I don't just take profit at 1-to-1 away. So if there's no liquidity target that's 1-to-1 away, I just won't take profit and I'll just hold to the liquidity target. And if a setup has to take profit that's less than 1-to-1 away, I won't take profit there either. I'll just keep holding for the next liquidity target. And most of the time in that scenario, I'll just get break even, which is fine. So one of those scenarios that I mentioned is kind of playing out right now. We have an SMT at this low here. So I mentioned that if we swept this low here and then got an SMT and then got a long back up, I might be interested in that. So like maybe this. As long as there's not something on the 5, no, we're good. Oh, you guys saw my rules. Cool. Yeah, those are my rules. What DJ just sent. Data low was already swept back here. So no need to take out data low. It would just be low a day. And then maybe the sell side. Oh, one more thing. If you guys are interested in trading with me, more in the future outside of PM stream, or if you're somebody that can only trade AM, I do offer like one-on-ones as a product. So if you're interested in sitting in me and just having a personal conversation where you can ask any questions or, anything related to the charts or psychology or anything like that, I offer that opportunity. Plus, we also will be looking for trades because the one-on-one will happen from 9 to 11. And that is we have a promotion running right now, which expires today, where if you buy a one-on-one with me, you get a free month of PM. And my one-on-ones cost $200 per session. And they also come with notes, if you'd like, and a video. Just recapping the entire one-on-one that we had. Yeah, Frosty, you can trade whatever, and I'll try and answer the questions best I can. Would I take the 1 minute? Yeah, if we got like a giant birth candle through it, probably. So let's figure out the risk reward on this trade if we got it. So it'd be about a 30-point risk, and we'd be targeting that first internal high. So it'd be 1-to-1. So the first scale target would be there. Second would be the high inside the fair value gap. Last would be the runners to the data wick. And hopefully we get that like in a macro time, right? That would be super helpful. Yeah, obviously the SMT is dead now. Do I have a YouTube channel? I do, but I just upload like either really good trade wins that I alert there, or like the PM stream full stream recaps. In the future, I'm planning on posting more educational content. Like right now, I'm reading this book called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, and I'm gonna do kind of like a review of the book and how it relates to our trading. And then just some more like beginner friendly stuff, some intermediate content, that kind of thing, just related to ICT. Well, the SMT died. I'd prefer if we swept these lows, but this is a singular obvious gap, and we have the data highs target, so I'd like to sweep the lows, but this is a good liquidity pool down here that we swept, so I'd be okay with taking a trade here. I'd really prefer, though, if we got the sweep from down here. So this would definitely not be A+. Like, it would be more A+ if we got it from down here. But this would be like an A setup. Do I scale in the trade? No, I usually will enter with full size unless there's like, unless I have really good conviction about a target. And like, let's say we get like an inverse on the 15-second. You know, maybe I take like a micro or two, and then I scale into the trade fully once we inverse like the 1 minute. Mario, it just depends. I will trade the 30-second to the 3 minute. So the longer that this gap takes to inverse on the same swing, the worse that I think the trade is. I measure momentum just by like the points per minute. And so the way that I do that is I'll look at the swing that's going to inverse the gap, and I will measure the points that we've moved from that low or high, and how much time has passed since that low was created. So in this instance, you know, we start the candle at 9:41, and we moved up, you know, from 67 to 23, which is about 56 points. And we've done that in 3 minutes. So that's really good momentum, right? Normally, I think good momentum is 5 points per minute. So obviously 56 points in 3 minutes is like what? Almost 20 points per minute. So that's really good momentum. Once we put in a new low, however, that starts the new swing. So this is actually where the new candle's momentum would start. So it would be at 80 to 31, so that'd still be 50 points. So 50 points, if we got the candle close here, would be 50 points in 2 minutes, which would be 25 points per minute. So that's 5 times the required momentum, which is really, really good. I'd be willing to take it. And then obviously, you know, probably a break even will get created once we put in like an internal high and take that. And then we can target this first high here for 1-to-1 for 50% off. And then after that, we would target this high here for TP2. And then the last target would just be the runners to these equal highs / data highs. The 3 minute, isn't it better than the 1 minute? No, the 1 minute's definitely better here. It's more obvious. So there's the 1 minute close. I think I would take this on eval, but this reaction is pretty bad. So we'd want to see CE of the gap respected here. But yeah, this is not an A+ setup. I only take A+ setups on funded. Right? Because we have the sell side down here. So yeah, just terrible, really bad reaction. And yeah, this is just so obviously going to be a fail. So kind of goes back to why we don't take trades that don't, you know, meet all of our criteria, and we wait for the A+ setup for fundeds. All right, chat, who took that? Type 1. Let's see. Oh God, that's a lot of ones. Hey, that's a lot of ones. Like I said, A+ trades, right? The whole gas tank analogy, all that just went out the window. Hey, if you took it on eval, that's fine. If you took it on eval and lost, that's totally fine. But like I said, it's not A+. Mentioned that way before the trade while I was initially talking about this. Mentioned it as the trade happened. The liquidity sweep to the left here, plus the good momentum up. We pumped 50 points in a minute. All right, so there's the actual sell side sweep now. So ideally, we should see the market maker model complete here. Another thing, too, that doesn't make this A+ is we're going against bias. The bias has always been short. Yeah, sure, Sebi. So the big thing here is we didn't sweep external liquidity, and that's one of the major things. I say whenever we take an inverse inside the range, their probabilities are way less. So this is a textbook example of a gap that's in the range and isn't, you know, coming off the extremity of the range. So this one wins, this one fails. So that just shows you right there that just based off this morning, you know, the probabilities are 50-50, just based off of like the anecdotal price action that we've had right now, right? So that's step one. We didn't get that external liquidity sweep. The other reason is we don't have a good draw anywhere near price. We have these up here, but one thing that you have to take into context whenever you're taking a trade is like how relatively close is the draw on liquidity? Like, would it make sense for price to come to that, or is there a draw to the other side that's closer, right? So obviously we have sell side down here. So whenever you have conflicting draws, a trade can't be A plus. Once we take out this 4-hour low, then obviously like a trade can become A plus. But until that happens, we can't say a trade's A plus. The other aspect of it too is it's against our bias. So our bias was bearish. And whenever you're taking a trade against your bias, that can't be A plus. Do we long now? Honestly, I'd prefer to hit the 4-hour low. We're really close to it at this point. I think the draw is definitely lower to that 4-hour low, and then once we hit that, maybe we can get a nice setup long. We'll probably get it on the 1 minute here. That would make sense. This 30 seconds pretty good too, but I think the 1 minute inverse back up here after hitting that low would be decent. Just a really big stop. It's 60 points, so you could only risk like maybe 2 micros there on a 50K. Plus, one other thing to consider too is where we're delivering from, and that has to do with bias, right? So currently we're delivering from this 15-minute CIBI right around 50%, and bias is just delivery plus draw liquidity. And so if we don't have delivery to the upside here, which where is price delivering from for this FVG, right? Like maybe there's a 30-second BPR, but even still, like this isn't good enough or obvious enough to consider this like good delivery. And so you always want to be taking IVGs with good delivery. So even though we had the momentum, we had, the singular obvious gap, we swapped liquidity to the left, the internal liquidity, all these different things that make it an A setup. It's just missing the extra cherry on top that makes it A plus, which is why I said, eval. And then obviously, this is like the same thing. It's that same idea. So this trade works, obviously, because it's even better because it goes with bias. And that's what makes it A plus. But for me, it's just, it doesn't have the draw. So it's an A plus trade I won't take. Mechanically, it's A plus, but for me, it's not. Thoughts on the 3-minute? The 3-minute inverse up? I prefer the 1 minute here. Just because if you took the 3-minute, you'd be buying around like what, this price level here, okay? Depending on the inverse, and you'd still be waiting on that 1 minute to inverse. So whenever you have a situation where you have a gap that's wider on the lower time frame, and then a higher time frame gap that's smaller, you want to wait for that bigger gap to inverse. Same thing with the 2 minute. Yeah, so the elements of an A plus setup are they have to follow your bias. It has to be after an external liquidity sweep. The gap has to be singular and obvious. And you have to have good momentum with a good draw on liquidity above. Okay? Those are like all of the aspects of a good A plus setup. If you're missing any of those things, it's not A plus and you can't take it. So good delivery, good draw, reaction off of external liquidity sweep, singular gap, good momentum. No space loop. Two-minute has a singular gap. Yeah, but the issue is there's like the other things too. Contextually which matter, which I just explained. Like how this gap would still exist and need to be inversed even if the 2-minute got inversed here. By the way, we do have news in 7 minutes, so yeah, for sure, DJ. Uh, 21,028. I don't know what you're talking about. What liquidity levels over there? Are you talking about this 15-minute low? Yeah, that I want to wait for this 4-hour. Hey, remember at the start of the stream, I said that we were going to do two things this stream that were guarantees, all right? We were going to take 9 losing setups, and I was going to self-promo for 2 hours, all right? We're doing both of those things. We're accomplishing both of those things, so let's keep killing it. How am I passing evals in one day? Lots of leverage and getting more points than losing. Did I take that 1 minute long? No, I didn't. I haven't taken a trade yet. I'm gonna wait for 983 to hit. That's in my target all morning. So the way that I determine draw is just what liquidity target contextually makes sense to hit based on what the market has done. So we've dumped a lot. We have a lot of momentum down. We saw price react very bearishly to 50%. And so because of that, my draw that I'd be looking for is to sell side. And then once I've determined that I'd be looking for a sell side draw, I'd be looking at, okay, what's the obvious sell side draw here? Do we have an unfilled PT array? Do we have an obvious external low that looks like it would complete a market maker model? And in this case, we did, so that's the low that I'm targeting. And then I'd also be looking for, like, okay, do we have a low instead of a fair value gap to the left? Which in this case we do, but it's very far away. So we would have to see like a sell model down to this low, and we'd have to see a lot of momentum past this low and then these lows in order to confirm that we're going for 640. So I have no idea if we're going to have that, but I just had that drawn out from this morning. Right now, all we have is a guaranteed target is 983. Do I have Instagram? Not really. Monkey, you got a problem with that explanation? See, that's the reason why we're losing trades. It's because Monkey's here. It's got to be. Incredible explanation. All right. Alpha, yeah, one more time. So, look at the 2 minute gap here, okay? Do you see that it's singular and obvious and, it's good, right? Now tell me, when you look at the 1 minute, is there a gap in the way that even if we were to inverse, like, the 2 minute here, like let's say we get a candle up here and then we get like another candle up here and it inverses the gap, do you see a place in price that we could reject from even though we inverse the 2 minute? What do you mean, Space Loop? Hey, Adri, I'm not trying to. There's almost 800 people in here. It's not like PM stream where I can just see everyone. What was the first setup? I thought it was B+. This one? This one was A+. Or A. Like in my opinion it's an A. To Dodgy, this would be mechanically A+. This setup was like, I think once again like A, just because of the momentum. Okay. So I wait for all time frames to inverse? No, I just wait for it depends on the momentum, right? So if we get good momentum through an inverse, I don't have to wait for all the time frames to inverse. But if I see a gap like this on the lower time frame that doesn't exist on the 2 or 3 minute, that could potentially hold price down after we inverse the 2 minute, I'm going to wait for that gap to also inverse. Does that make sense? Because we could inverse the 2 and 3 minute here, but then reject from this upper 1 minute and just see price, continue lower. But yeah, we do have 10 a.m. news. So, since we have news in 2 minutes and we don't have good price action right now, I'd wait for that before taking a trade. What if the 1 minute inverse is on news? I'd still want to see 983 hit at this point. Plus, we'll probably get a data wick, so that will create conflicting draws. So we have to wait for one of those draws to get taken out before targeting the other. Like I said, guys, before going into the stream today, I mentioned it. I'm much more selective with my trades compared to Dodgy. So, like, I will tell you guys when I'm getting in a trade. Like, if I'm not telling you that I'm not getting in a trade, it's probably because I see something wrong with it, and you probably shouldn't take it. Patek, the problem is that news changed on Forex Factory. It used to be red, and it still introduces volatility into the market. So that's why I like to wait. Aled, you trying to play Fortnite? Well, SC Trader, that was under the assumption that I wasn't gonna have to stream AM session. Now that I'm streaming AM session, this is basically your PM stream. just just imagine it like I'm just streaming PM instead right now. All right, so here's 10 o'clock. Here's news. All right, boom. So now that sell side liquidity target's been taken, it's what we've been wanting all morning. So now we can look for a long back up here. We just need to see like a good reaction after hitting that low. Obviously, if we continue to displace lower below this gap, that's going to tell me that we're in a sell model, and we're just in a trend day. And if we're in a trend day, that probably means that I won't be able to alert anything as A plus because, like I said, any continuation short we'd be getting at this point would, one, be too low, and two, would be like a trade in the middle of the range. There wouldn't be an external liquidity sweep. So ideally, we should see like a setup, maybe this 1 minute long, right? Like I would be okay to take that. It is a 60-point stop, so so technically, Sniper, I feel like this would be like a decent FEG up here. I don't feel like this is like that setup that we normally get where we see like price dump and then we get that first setup back up, kind of like this one. This one feels like just kind of like a, where we've chopped, created that second stage of distribution and then back up, right? It's not like that first inverse back up after a dump. So I would take it. I wouldn't take a 30-second. Yeah, sure I would, but there's not a 30-second here. I think the 1 minute's more obvious, and I'm guessing we'll get a 2 minute. Now you're just running into an issue with stop size. So anytime we have anytime I see a gap that has a stop that's too big, I like to wait for a retrace and a confirmation entry off of the inverse with a smaller stop instead of just taking the straight up 2 minute. The issue right now, guys, is there's nothing telling me that price is bullish right now. Not one thing. So should we be looking for a trade long if there's nothing telling you that price is bullish? He goes, how is this a 60-point stop? Ain't no way. All right. Let's do some math, guys. What is 21,045 minus 20,975? 70. Correct. 70 is the right number. So whenever I have a 70-point stop, that means that I'm risking $140 per micro, and because that's not allowing me to scale like anything until 1-to-1 risk to reward, which would be probably this high here, which the probability of that hitting before my target going to break even is pretty low. This will probably just cause me not to take the trade. I'll probably just have to wait for a confirmation setup based off the inverse for value gap. Is 20,933 a random low? It doesn't matter. You're talking about this low? I mean, no, this looks like a good low to target, right? It's obvious it sticks out. I mean, it's a super big wick, right? So that tells you that there's probably a lot of liquidity resting down there because anybody that went long from, you know, this price leg has their stops all down here. So now that we've taken that out, it would also make sense to see a reversal. But the issue is now is delivery. Like, we're not really delivering from anywhere. We don't have like a 1 hour gap or a 4 hour or anything that would cause price to become bullish now because, oh wait, we have a 15-minute. All right, we have a 15-minute gap. So maybe we can get bullish now. But so far, still nothing that's telling us the price is bullish yet. No sign of reversal, just continuing to make lower lows here. What's up, Vignesh? So it looks like we're going to get a 3-minute, but I think the 2 minutes still better here. Dodgy, do you remember earlier when homeboy or Alex or whatever that dude's name is that you're hanging out with was talking about taking longs? Is he okay? Is his account okay? Can you check on him for me? Vignesh, yeah, maybe if we start seeing some form of reversal, but right now, I mean, there's nothing telling me that price wants to become bullish. Mark out LRLR from 4 months ago. All right, man. I got you. I don't think this is good LRLR, but sure. Here. Oh, well, that low is already swept, but oh yeah, no, for sure. I like the 30-second, and I'll even take trades off the 15, but for me there's just nothing here. What's up, Johnny? Oops. All right, I'm going to delete this off the chart at this point. We're just seeing no sign of reversal. We're just trending down. TGIF, but down. I actually think that the weekly open was here, so this isn't even TGIF. We're just dumping. What this actually could be is like power F3 on the weekly candle, right? So we have that first daily, you know, up candle that putting in the wick to the upside, and then we've seen down close candles after that. So maybe during PM session we'll see a pump to put in the wick to the upside here, right? So we have a wick at the top and a wick at the bottom. So maybe, you know, PM will give us a long. Would I target the most data high? I don't know what you mean. Oh, you mean, gotcha. Yeah, I would target the other data high just because for a data high to be a good draw, we need to see a wick put in, and here it was just a flat top candle or a devil's mark. Devil's marks can be good draws on liquidity because the market wants to create wicks on every candle. But for me, I think that the better data high wick would be this high here. So I'll have that marked out. But right now, guys, we're just too bearish, right? Like, there's not really a trade here we can take. What's the theory behind those wickless candles? There's just no upward selling pressure on the creation of the candle, or upward buying pressure on the creation of the candle, not selling pressure. So that just indicates that we're really bearish based off news, or just in general. Like even if we form a flat top, it's just a sign that we're really bearish or really bullish. On the open of this candle for data high, I don't know. Daily SMT. I think I know which low you're talking about. You're talking about this low, right? We swept that, not on ES. Oh no. We did sweep it. What SMT are you talking about? There's no SMT here, man. Oh, wait, yes there is. But that was already an SMT. So it's kind of irrelevant. You're talking about this low to this high, but that's not really a relevant SMT. Four-hour low at 971. Hey, I'm gonna need you to help me out, man. I don't see a 4-hour low at 971. No disrespect. I see a low here at, what is this, 933, and I see this low that we have at 985 or 99. Yeah, whatever that is. But yeah, you guys, it's not. I mean, like. Yeah, no, Lewis, I know which SMT you're talking about. The reason why this isn't relevant is because ES has already hit that low once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So when we have a low that's swept that many times, the point of an SMT is to see that immediate reaction after hitting the low on one indice and not the other. And so when that low isn't being like used for that reason, it kind of makes the SMT irrelevant. Yeah, for sure, Molates. That's what I have drawn here at 640, right? I said this would be a potential draw if we saw price, really displaced below the previous low, and we started closing below like these kinds of lows, right? So if we see that kind of closure on like the 1 hour, I would totally anticipate 640 being hit. Yeah, I guess somebody. somebody mentioned they wanted me to show 971 as a 4-hour low, but I don't see any 4-hour lows at 971. I feel bad. He's on Top Step. It's on MNQ. Oh, yikes. Yeah, no. Okay, so we chart based off of NQ, not MNQ. Yeah, exactly, Taz. So what I'd like to see is like, okay, like let's say we get this inverse here, this gap that's like 60 points, right? Then what I'd like to see is like a gap creation. So like almost like a BPR, right? So we have this gap to the left here, the SIBI, and then like let's say we see price, trade up here, 1 candle, and then 2 candle, and then 3 candle, inversing the fair value gap, right? And then what I'd want to see is price to trade back down into this created BPR, and then in the process of that, put in like another 30-second SIBI, right? And then after we put in that 30-second SIBI there, I want to see price come back up and trade higher and inverse that 30-second SIBI. That would be my entry. And then my entry would be there. Stop would be like there for like 18 points instead of 60. And then I'd be targeting here for like 3R. And then ultimately like back to data highs, which could be like a lot of points, right? 16R. That's what I would like to see. I've had 5-figure payouts, Zimmerman. My last 5-figure payout was like, I don't remember. I think December. So last month. Why is price so stagnant? Because we've moved a lot. And it's really not stagnant. I mean, this candle alone was like 20 points. It just appears that way because contextually, like, the ranges are super big. So we have this 2-minute gap here. It's also a 3-minute. It's also a 5-minute. So we're tapping into that now. We want to see price inverse that if we're anticipating higher prices. We've swept a lot of liquidity. Usually I'll try to make at least 1-to-1, so that would be about $250, Tony. But sometimes trades can go as far as, $500, 2R, 750, 3R, that kind of thing. What's up, Steve?
How do you do it, bro?
What you mean?
How do you deal with it?
The chat's great. I love the chat.
Can I say something to these people?
Sure, man. Just
Stop
remember.
saying SMT. Stop saying SMT.
Okay.
All right, we're good now.
Okay.
I don't know if everybody realizes that an SMT is just another confluence. That's all it is. You don't trade based solely off SMT. You have to see some kind of liquidity be swept. You got to see some kind of PD array, some kind of reversal before you touch it.
That's true.
Don't trade based only off of SMTs. You will get destroyed. All right, peace out. Have a good day, Reliable.
All right, man. See you. All right, bro. Bro, the worst though, if we're gonna really start talking about, people calling out SMTs, is when people start calling out SMTs with YM. Bro, I don't care about your SMT with YM. YM is like the worst indice ever. No, Monkey, we're not going to do that. Not today. I've done it too many times. Yeah, so if you're interested in joining PM Stream, Space Luke, all of the payment links or all the different, like monthly or yearly or lifetime subscription is underneath this channel for claim PM access. And if you just want the direct link for that, it's right here. Moscow, it's 2 separate memberships. So they're just 2 separate WAPs, and then you'll gain access to all the PM channels once you sub to PM. Am I taking this 30-second? This is just not good price action, but it looks decent. If we hit this high first, obviously it's invalid. So for me, okay, so no inverse there. This just doesn't feel like enough. Okay, so like one major thing now that we've dumped as much as we have, right, is we have to get like a setup that is really high probability based on what we're inversing, right? So the issue with taking just this random 30-second is that, like, contextually to the rest of the range, this gap is not obvious, right? And it would be the first inverse after a major, like, dump or liquidity sweep. We need to see more structure form in order to confirm longs. We need to see us trade sideways. I feel like a long here, when we're kind of chopping and we're not putting in 1 minute fair value gaps and you know, price isn't very good, would be kind of gambling. But in the same token, we've dumped so much that it makes sense to get a reversal. So for me, I'm probably going to wait for more structure here, but I feel like this setup will probably win regardless. But I can't say I'm taking it. Also, no inverse there. Does that make sense? Like, we're not even like what Buffett's saying. We're not really delivering off anything. I mean, we have this 15-minute BISI to the left that we've respected multiple times, but like, it's almost like too far away to say like, okay, we're delivering off of this now. Like, we need to like be putting in like 1 minute gaps here on the lower time frame and then respecting those and delivering off of those. So there's the 30-second. Obviously, like, you go to break even once the high hits, and then, oh well, I guess it's break even, right? What you could actually do though is like target the next liquidity point, which is this 5 minute SIBI. So yeah, no, it's just a bad break even trade. Like, this entry is just awful because you're buying into a 5 minute SIBI. So either you're going to break even instantly or you're going to try and fade the 5 minute, which, like I said, contextually it makes sense. We've dumped a lot. Like, it would make sense to see a retrace here, but I don't know. There's just not enough. Like, I feel like we need more structure, like Buffett's kind of saying. Now, the chart that Dodgy just posted was the original gap that I had posted that I was looking at. If we were to inverse this, this would be like, okay. If we were to inverse this, now there's no way that we're going to go anywhere but up. So that's kind of the reason why we'd be looking at this as a trade versus just a 30-second below. If we inverse this 2 minute, we'd be inversing the 3 minute, which would be inversing this 5 minute, which would be, targeting this 15 minute, which would be inversing the 1 minute. There's just like so many things that would happen if the 2 minute got inversed that it would make way too much sense not to go up there. Yeah, Ashley, you can. The only problem with this is it is like a 60-point stop. So if that concerns you, I would definitely wait for like a retrace entry, like maybe to CE of the gap, or do what I said and wait for that like 30-second setup to form. Just because, like, I don't think I'm ever going to take a trade with a 60-point stop. Like, it could be an 100% win rate trade and I wouldn't take it just because, like, it kind of goes back to that gas tank analogy again, right? Like, if you take this trade, you are spending essentially all of your gas in your tank on one trade. And even though it looks like a highway trade, even though it looks like whatever, like, even highway trades aren't guaranteed, right? You might end up running into an accident down the road that creates traffic, or you might end up, getting rainy weather all of a sudden, or construction or whatever when you get on the highway. So for me, taking into that account, picturing the worst possible scenario that could happen as a result of taking this, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait for that smaller, risk reward, because you'd essentially be risking a lot of money on a trade that might work, right? When you want to risk a little bit of money on a trade that might work. Rate the 933 long. I think I did. Was it this setup or oh no, it wasn't. It was. Oh yeah, that's like C. That's like not good at all. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, exactly, Suds. Exactly. Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. What's BYC? So Dodgy saying he's taking this with 1 micro. I respect it. He's gonna risk $160. Um, already inverse to 5. Yep, we talked about that. This 5 minute down here. Yeah, Space Loop or Space Luck. Yeah, I think so too, DT. No, Noah, I won't. Look at 10 minute. No, I'm not going to do that either. Tion way. I wouldn't get off the charts, but I would just wait for something that doesn't require you to take a 60-point stop. That's what I would do. Yeah, Johnny and Slayer, if you guys want to keep debating, be my guest, but just do it in DMs. Like, I mean, like, we're all trading, right? Like, we're all just trying to make money and do whatever. It doesn't matter how many points you get or whatever. As long as you're profitable and you're making money, none of it really matters. I mean, there's people that go on Twitter and talk about, oh, my model's better than yours, oh, this, and they're both unprofitable. It's like, okay, who cares at that point, right? Like, you could be profitable trading with a chicken, and I wouldn't care. Like, I would think, wow, good job, dude. No, I'm not talking about Dodgy Sal. Dodgy's profitable. I'm talking about the randoms on Twitter that are in Patrick Werlane's like, comments, and they're calling ICT garbage and all this other stuff, and those kids have never gotten a proper payout. Patrick Werlane. Yeah. Patrick Werlane, bro. What's the difference, right? I don't know. TJR is brand risk. 933 wasn't good, Vert, because it went against bias. Why not take trade off a 5 minute Landon? Because I need to see something more, right? It's like that whole first inverse after a massive dump type thing. I need to see more structured form in order to confirm that we're bullish, right? TJR is a brand risk. That's my opinion on TJR. I think he's all right, but he does questionable things online, and he potentially did some illegal things during the whole crypto thing. So, oh, not TJR, Patrick. Oh, I don't know. Patrick Wayland is a character. Oh, Justin Werlin. He's fine, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, like, I can't have an opinion on any of these people because I don't watch any of them. No, not 15:30 to 17. I trade 1:30 Eastern, which is 13:30 to 16, which is 4 o'clock Eastern. So yeah, coming up on this 2-minute inverse now. Dodgy said that he likes this. He's taking it. We still have 15 seconds before the next 2-minute candle close. I'm guessing it'll take another 2-minute candle in order to fully inverse it. Me, what I said I want for this trade is I need a 30-second gap down, ideally to inverse. I mean, not inverse, but ideally to sweep, some form of liquidity, like these lows down here, or whatnot. And then once we get that sweep, and we put in a 30-second SIBI or 1-minute SIBI to the downside, I will take that SIBI that forms back to the upside, because I can't take a stop that's 60 points big. It'd be cool, I guess, but it goes against my rules to do something like that. He's taking the 5-minute. I don't think so. I think he's probably going to take the 2. He might have the 5 up, but there's no way he's taking that. That doesn't follow his model. All right, I guess he's taking the 5. I guess the 5-minute entry was there. For me personally, I'd want to wait for the 2-minute, but I guess. So the reason why I don't love the 5 is because the 2-minute's still holding. I mean, what 2-minute? 10 o'clock. Yeah, it is free diver. Can you guys believe we've been live for 2 hours and it doesn't even feel like it? Did Dodgy take this? I think he said he was. I think he said he was taking the 5-minute. Oh no, this looks good if we V-shape. Just such a damn big stop loss is his exact words. So he says this looks good. Vert, I just wouldn't do anything if we have conflicting biases like you're talking about. Whenever the draws are conflicting, I just like to wait for one to be swept and then target the other afterward. Yeah, for sure. What about the 2-minute at 10:18? Yeah, so we talked about this. I said I'd like to wait for more structure to form just to confirm that we're actually bullish. So now that we've seen price, come up and inverse the 5 and the 2, or not the 2 yet, but once we see it inverse the 2 and all this, then I would be like, okay, now we're bullish. I just need to see more structure form whenever price is really bearish, because without it, you tend to run into this issue where like you'll take that first, inverse after a massive dump and then it'll fail. So you just got to wait for that second in order to confirm. Okay, so Dodgy just said he's in. He took the 5-minute retrace. So if you want to signal bot Dodgy and fade the 2-minute and fade me, go for it. For me, I need to wait for like a 30-second SIBI, like I said to form, and then I'll take it. So the basis for Dodgy taking this trade off the 5-minute is obviously just the momentum. I mean, we pumped 170 points in 25 minutes, so that's really good momentum. Once we hit this high here, that's your stop to break even, so 21,070 it looks like. And then after that, your first scale target would be this high here at 21,138, because that's 1 to 1 RR away. right, let's see. So there's the 2-minute close there. We got the inverse. So there's like the potential like actual entry that I think is high probability. We swept the. Oh no, we didn't hit it. Okay, so we almost swept that high there. That 10 o'clock. What's it called? Flat top candle there. Why didn't I take the 2-minute below? I just explained it like 3 times. I can't explain it again. If you'd like to figure out why, there will be a full trade recap posted, and you can go back and watch about 3 minutes before when I just talked about it. Like I said, guys, what I would need to see here is like some sort of 30-second inverse off of the 2-minute inverse now. By the way, we still have an inverse this 30-second gap here, so that's technically still holding. So if you're listening to me, you know, then you don't have to run the risk of like this 30-second not inversing now. But you know, I think the momentum up is still really good. So regardless of whether or not you took this, I think we're still going to go up. What are we targeting? So yeah, that first target's going to be this internal high here inside the free value gap. That next target will be this obvious ITH here. And then the next target would be this ITH instead of an FVG at 21,197. And the last target would be the data highs. This target here is just your break-even target. So you wouldn't take any profit there. You would TP1 here. All right. Oops. And then TP2 here. And then final TP up here at the data high or the equal highs, whatever you want to take it at. Got it? So those are your take profits. Zimmer, no, I don't. But I'll tell you I'm taking it. For me, I'm just waiting, like I said. I'm waiting for like a good 30-second, you know, obvious setup here. This 30-second gap, like I said, still holding. Can you split 1 micro into 3 take profits? Who's gonna? Okay. Yeah, bro, you have to go on miniatures. Not minis, miniatures. They're below micros. Nanos, yeah, sure. What? So on nanos, it's 5 cents per tick. It's a nickel. Nah. I have everything drawn on how I would take profit at it. All right, so that's really good momentum up. That's exactly what you want to see. So inversing that 30-second gap now. It's 2.5 cents per tick. Jeez. All right, so almost break even there. Just about. All right, boom. Okay, so there's your break even. So if you took the trade off the 5-minute entry, you should be break even at this point. You're up about 40 points now, so still have to go for that target, that TP1 at 137, but you should be good. Obviously, no entry for me there because no 30-second, you know, retrace entry, but that's okay. No, I didn't. He's going to TP here for negative RR. All right, never mind, guys. I don't know anything about Dodgy. He's taking profit here. Or I guess nanos aren't a thing. I didn't know they were a thing until today, but yeah. Maybe he waited for a retrace? Yeah, he said. Maybe he waited for yeah, maybe he entered here for 1-1. That's true. I don't know, horror. It's a CFD contract, so yeah, we don't have access to them on prop firms. Womp womp. He's typing in chat, Starboy. But I'm reiterating everything of what he's doing here. Because I know some of you aren't able to see that. Hidden camera. God. That's funny. That's funny, Dapper. Alright, so I like this momentum. I like this speed over the previous gap. I mean over the previous high, so hopefully we just continue to see that. Misael, I have no idea. But yeah, do you guys see why we wait to take longs until after our sell side targets get hit? I mean, they're much higher probability, right? Like, this is good momentum, so does this, but we got the sell side target, you know, here, and obviously not here. And so this works to the break even, and that doesn't. How do you scale properly? So you have to enter a trade with more than just 1 micro, and then you have to take profits at the respective, you know, take profit points, which would be like, for example, unfilled liquidity. So in this case, it would be like this high inside of a fair value gap. You know, because there's liquidity forming on this whole entire side of the curve, right? Everybody that's taking sells here is placing their stop at the top of the gap, or not the top of the gap, the top of the candle. And so there's a lot of stops resting here, so you know that that's unfilled liquidity, right? Bro, this was an A+ setup. If you didn't take this, you're so dumb. Guys, I'm dumb. L. 15-minute inverse. Oh, yeah, we're about to get that in 3 minutes. Good point. All right, so if price comes back to this level here, that's the break even for the 2 minute. Frosty, stop the cap. What's his code? DM it to me. Don't post it in here. Is it just PW? No, that's cap. He's lying. He's lying. He's lying. He's lying. Yeah, Jai, I do. 15-second long. Nah. Because now we're delivering out of this gap to the left here on the 1 minute. If we came down here and then got like V shape, I guess, but I don't know. Like, I don't love this reaction of taking this high, you know? Like, we just closed over it with one candle and then immediately shot back down and put in a 1 minute order block. All right, so there's the break even on the 2 minute entry if you took it just based off the close. 1 minute short? No, I would not be shorting. Now that we've hit the sell side target. What I would be doing here for an entry though is if we got like an entry off of a 5 minute BPR and we saw price come all the way back down to there and then got an entry, that would be cool. But I don't know. The more and more I look at this, it kind of just looks like a buy program. All right, wait. Give me a chip. Give me a second. All right, so looks like we might get the 15-second inverse here. Maybe not. We are about to be in the macro time, by the way, 10:50. And on 10 o'clock news days, sometimes 11 o'clock can be treated as like a reversal time. All right. This is good. This is good momentum. Oh, inverse that 1 minute. Okay, so we got the 1 minute inverse there. Just barely. This is probably going to keep going up here. All right, so TP1 would be here at 137.75. I'm just watching to see if there's any SMTs, which right now there is not. By the way, we are about to hit the macro time, so we want to see price continue to pump up in the macro. Okay, this could be where we get our like setup that I was looking for earlier. Maybe, but we would need to see price come down here, form a 30-second SIBI, respect this fair value gap, and then we'd get a long after. That would be interesting. Now we just need to watch to make sure that like we're not like reacting off 50% or something like that. Okay, so yeah, we did hit 50%, but we're not reacting off of like any fair value gap or anything like that. I mean, obviously this one to the left, but we've inversed it, so I don't really care. So if we got this 30-second back up, that would be good to me. I would take that. All right, this is a lot of momentum down. Jeez. Maybe we're going to come down, hit this low, and then soup it and go back up. Form this 1 minute fair value gap here. No, Frosty, I saw. Does it work with Dodgy? Yeah, Steve, it would. That's why being inverse would be somewhat significant. All right, so this is just death. We're just going straight down. Maybe we're going to see a 50% retrace here and get that set up out of the fair value gap here. Maybe there's something on the 15. Nope. Like I said, 11 o'clock can sometimes present as a reversal time, you know, during 10 o'clock news days. All right, so there's the 5 minute break even there. So scale plus break even. So now like a 2 minute backup here would be nice, but the stop is pretty big, so. Yeah, Duber, I can. I mean, I'm just gonna post the full stream recap, and you can go back and see why I didn't take it. All right, respecting this 30-second gap here to the left still. Good momentum up. Mario, because what's your draw on liquidity? After we've dropped 500 points, what would be, do we have equal lows below? Two-minute does look good here. I think I'm not gonna miss out on this trade. I think I would take the 2-minute here for sure. Um, 50K is landing. No vegan, I don't do that. I just mark it into my entries most of the time. So yeah, if we put in this 1-minute OB to the downside, I'm guessing we're going to keep going down. So this 1-minute OB was not put in. We didn't close below the wick there, so still watching and waiting. I have them drawn out here, so TP1 would still be the same, TP2, and then TP3. So yeah, still no OB put in there. We did, yeah, we did wick equilibrium there of the up move. I'm watching Enki right now. That we didn't put in the OB because for me, in order to qualify it as an OB, we need to see it close below the wick and not just the body. So yeah, this momentum down, you know, continuing to take lows and putting in this OB now is definitely not a bullish sign. We're probably going to go for this 5-minute gap, like I said. And then after we hit the 5-minute, I have no idea where price is going to want to go. So we have an SMT now at this low with ES. This 30-second would be decent. I just wish we were delivering out of the 5-minute here. But I like the SMT. I like how we're kind of respecting 50% with the bodies. So here's 11 o'clock. We got it about 30 more seconds, and then I think that's going to be it for the stream. Let's see if we get a really big dump at 11. Just to push this momentum. All right. Decent there, decent there. All right, so hit that 5 minute now. This momentum is just crazy. I have no idea what to think. I don't know why we reversed there after inversing everything. Maybe we came up for 50%, but I figured we'd keep going for the low, right? I mean, for the data highs there. Yeah, so it looks like it was just like a reaction off of 1 hour 50%. To keep heading lower. Honestly, for me, today was just like a no trade day. I was just watching price and trying to answer as many of your questions as possible. To me, there was just nothing that was like super A plus. Any of the shorts that we had didn't have a good draw to the downside, and any of the longs that we just took right now had really big stops or were on the sell side of the curve. I don't really love taking trades off of the sell side of the curve. But yeah, some imparting words of wisdom. On a day like today where we move 700 points in both directions, 400 down, 300 back up, or whatever it was, I took no trades, okay? I missed out on 700 potential points, and I didn't capture a single one. Does that matter to me? No. Because for me, all of those trades would have wasted my mental capital at a greater rate than they were worth monetarily, right? And my biggest concern isn't necessarily making the most money or hitting a bunch of really high probability trades or making a ton of profit. My concern is survival in the market, because the only way to become a good trader is to survive, okay? And to make money long term, okay? If I have one really good year where I make $100,000 and then I follow it up with a year where I lose $100,000, does that make me a good trader? No, because you're not surviving, right? And if I'm going to take trades, I want them to be trades that follow survival and aren't just trades that like, oh, they're really high probability. These have to work, this or that, right? I want trades that are going to keep me in the market in the long term, that are going to give me longevity, right? Somebody just asked me what I'm reading and what I recommend. The book I'm reading right now is called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. And it just gives you a really good, insight into personal finance, and has a lot of good rules for trading throughout them. And what he does is he gives you a lot of like anecdotes and personal stories about other investors and traders, bankers, even like he gives an example of this janitor at Harvard who would just continue to save and continue to have endurance and longevity in order to meet his personal finance goals, right? It just gives you a bunch of anecdotes following basically simple maxims that you can apply to your personal finance and trading lifestyle. And yeah, I'm going to make a video on it. So if you guys don't end up reading it, I'm going to kind of go over each of the maxims that I took away that I thought were applicable to what we're doing. And yeah, that'll probably come out within the next couple of weeks here. I'm still just reading the book. So yeah, if you guys felt that trade was going to waste more mental capital than it was worth monetarily, then you're following your trade plan, and you're following your I guess, rules, and that's always a good thing, right? Even if you're not able to take a trade. So, on that note, if you guys are interested in more of what I have to offer, obviously we didn't take a trade today, but that's okay, because like I said, there'll always be more. If you're interested in more of what I have to offer, more of my teachings, more of what I do, we trade every single day in PM stream, and we call out trades, we hang out, we do a bunch of stuff, and it's a lot less people. So your answers will come to any questions you have, and yeah, there's a lot of really cool people in there. So if you're looking for an opportunity to meet more people inside of Dodgy's community, that's a good opportunity for you. If your work schedule doesn't work out, or if you're just looking for an opportunity to take more trades and learn more, PM stream is definitely for you. On that note, right now the only thing I see on the chart is this 1 minute SMT, and the fact that we are inversing the 5-minute gap down. The only other gap we have here on this price leg is this last 5-minute down here, and then there's obviously this 3 minutes. So any time we're like in this range here, basically, where there's fair value gaps on like multiple different time frames, we could see a reversal here, because we're in discount of the range now. We've hit unfilled liquidity below. So the next point that we'd want to go to is unfilled liquidity to the buy side. If we were to inverse this last 5-minute BPR, that would definitely tell us that we're going to continue to head lower. Now that it's after 11, I can't trade until 1:30, but I'm probably just going to call it here. I won't be live for any PM people today because today's our off week. If you guys have any more questions that you want me to answer, sign up for PM and ask them in there, or just DM me. My DMs I believe they're open, and I'll make sure to get most of those questions answered. All right. If you guys have any questions and you don't feel like DMing me, just shoot me a message in chat, I guess, and I'll try and get to those too. All right. Other than that, our bias today was pretty well executed. Just couldn't quite get the entries we were looking for, and that's okay. So I'll post this full stream recap in the same place that Dodgy always posts his, and you guys can review that and get any questions you want answered. How do we sign up for PM stream? I will post that link one more time for anybody that's interested, but I'll also post the channel with all the other content that I have. And then, yeah, I will catch you guys all either in PM on Monday or, just at my next time I have to cover for Dodgy. All right? You guys have a great rest of your Friday. Have a safe weekend, and peace out, everyone.